Hi guys, good evening. Welcome to my podcast W5. Wow Woman Winning Wonderful World. Friends, Thomas Alva Edison is remembered for early version of electric light bulb as it has a widespread impact on the modern industrialized world. It lightened our path, minds, house. And today, I am here to bring in light our today's wow woman, Dehradun's reviving glow, Kamalpreet Kaur, who empowered 3,000 rural women to become LED entrepreneur. In Dehradun, Kamalpreet Kaur's venture, ORA INFINI, is helping thousands of rural and semi-urban women become financially independent by providing free training in making LED bulbs, a field that most view as a male-dominated industry. In Uttarakhand's Dhakrani village, many witnessed a gradual but inspiring transformation of rural women in their financial conditions who have now turned self-reliant. Farzana, an internal community resource person for the National Rural Livelihood Mission since 2014, is in charge of a cluster of 20-odd self-help groups comprising 10 women each in Vikasnagar block of Dehradun. Among the various skill development programs, these women have been exposed to One Stand Out for its novel takeoff, introducing them to a traditionally male-centric domain. Close to 50 women from Dhakrani village have not only crafted their own LED bulbs and string lights but also made a collective sales as high as Rs 70,000 during Diwali last year. Right before the first COVID-19 lockdown, a training session on electronics had caught many's eye. Women have undergone training for a month, but it was not easy for them to pick up the lessons. They had hardly ever stepped out of their homes, let alone learned their intricacies of electrical work. But after 2 years, they stand tall and are capable of leading training sessions themselves. While many women part of the training session, one trainee, Farzana, says her interest lies in marketing the woman's finished product. It was only after the lockdown eased that they could make first sale at an exhibition in Dehradun, pricing each LED bulb at Rs 80. They started setting up stalls at block levels market, but soon realized that the demand is much higher during the festive season. Last year, they made their biggest profit by selling almost 1,000 LED bulbs, and it's all thanks to Kamalpreet, says Farzana. Farzana is referring to Dehradun-based Kamalpreet Kaur, 42, who has enabled hundreds of women from rural and semi-urban areas of Doiwala, Vikasnagar, Sahaspu, Kalsi and Raipur blocks to become electrical entrepreneur. Kamalpreet is a BCom and MBA graduate who became mother at 22. Always harbored a dream of becoming an industrialist, but it was not until 2016 when she secured a loan of Rs 20 lakh under the Prime Minister's Employment Generation Program PMEGP that she fulfilled her aspirations with ORA INFINI. The MSME venture, focused on promoting the usage of renewable energy, has designed and developed several LED and solar powered lighting equipment as well as a hybrid electric bicycle. Most of their LED lights, however, are manufactured by women in the district, a majority of whom are homemakers. Kamalpreet, along with her husband Rajiv Singh and the 6-member technical team at her eco-friendly startup, provides these women with free training sessions that are conducted on a need-based basis for anywhere between 10 days and 3 months. Kamalpreet proudly quotes, "We have come a long way." It was officials at the Dehradun Industrial Department who recommended that Kamalpreet should apply for PMEGP subsidy scheme. Initially, the committee was not convinced she could pull off an LED business without a technical background, but she too was stubborn. She was already familiar with the basics because her husband was an electrical engineer and she would teach herself everything else she needed to know from internet. The biggest primary qualification she had was being a woman. She can manage everything, and if they gave her a shot, she could bring several others into the business. Now, she proudly says that more than 3,000 women from Dehradun have accompanied her in her journey. She says that by not opting for a woman-oriented business, she has been able to help revive the lighting industry in Dehradun by furthering the sale of homegrown LED lights. There was a time when Dehradun used to be a hub of lights. Our manufacturers supplied everything from torches to miniature bulbs and string lights all over India. But their business essentially disappeared when cheaper foreign-made LED lights took over the market, says Kamalpreet. At the same time, she could not ignore the prevalence of unemployment and wanted to create a platform that could empower women, especially those from rural communities. Most of them don't have strong educational background, but even if they do, their circumstances require them to stay at home. LED lights were an attractive way to lure them into business, but her main motive was to have them develop basic technical knowledge and skills that they could carry forward while dealing with other electronics. Her venture, though, began at home with the daughters of a few domestic workers in her neighborhood. Every day after her house help's daughter got done with school, she used to come home to help her mother wash utensils. She asked her if she would be interested in LED lessons and told her she would pay her for every bulb she made with her. Gradually, she convinced a few more teenagers to join. But back then, they made use of SMT, surface mount technology machines. She realized she could create employment opportunities with a labor-intensive model and began approaching NRLM officers to access their network of self-help groups. It was sometimes in 2017 that Kamalpreet first collaborated with self-help groups from Teliwala village in Doiwala block, but she was met with a fair share of resistance from the women who didn't feel confident in their abilities to pursue electrical work, which they felt was the men's work. Then she used to go door to door to encourage women to join training sessions, but they had never heard of anything like it before, so they were surprised. Then Kamalpreet's husband suggested her to bring their mixer grinder, induction cooker and irons to them for repair. Once they came to Kamalpreet, they can hand them a screwdriver and ask them to get to work themselves. The idea was to familiarize them with the tools. Gradually, they were able to convince them to turn up for the training session, where they taught them soldering, PCB mounting and attaching wires to create strings, in addition to the basics of electronics and safety practices. They held their hands as they made the LED bulbs, the same way teach children to write. It's not something that they learnt in an hour, but their joy of holding a product they had made themselves was unparalleled. Kamalpreet points out that training sessions were usually sponsored by governmental initiatives such as NRLM and the National Institute of Entrepreneurship and Small Business Development NIES-BUD. Other times, though, when they have approached by self-help groups themselves, they make use of ORA INFINI's revenue to supply the raw materials. In 2016, Kamalpreet also set up her startup's factory in Dehradun with technical support from her husband, who had quit his corporate job to help out with her venture. Besides manufacturing a wide range of renewable products, the team helped market the LED bulbs and string lights made by these women. There was already the misconception that these women couldn't be successful in the LED business, but even with their finished products in hand, customers were hesitant to invest in products made by homemakers. By conducting quality checks at ORA INFINI, they could assure that they were investing in a product with warranty. But a majority of them were new, adept enough to run independent businesses and don't require hand-holding support from them. They have somehow managed to create their own competitors. For instance, Kavita Paul, the president of a self-help group in Doiwala town, was of opinion the woman she worked with specialized in making decorative string lights, a skill they picked up during a month-long training session in 2020, ranging from 9 to 100 meter, priced at rupees 150 to rupees 1600 respectively. She says their lights are a hit during festive and wedding season. She says they keep getting custom orders from families and hotels as well as municipal corporation for Independence Day, Republic Day celebrations. She says that homemakers typically work a couple of hours every day after finishing their domestic duties. They don't have to wait for their husbands to be in a good mood before asking them for money anymore, and they are very confident and very happy with this mindset. From never having worked to earning about rupees 25,000 per order, these women have come a long way. No foreign lights for 2 years in their village. Kamalpreet says that her team has also been able to provide training to as many as 80 inmates at the Dehradun district jail who primarily manufacture LED street lights after being approached by the prison in charge at government fair in 2016. Initially, no organizer was willing to give them a spot. They kept asking what category they would fit into. But Kamalpreet pointed out how their LED bulbs were also handmade and provided a source of livelihood, much like the handicraft and food items at the fair. They were supported by the Uttarakhand Khadi and Village Industries Board and eventually got in. In fact, ORA INFINI is the first electronic brand to be registered as Khadi product. People might not recognize Kamalpreet, but the work speaks for her. With a network of 40 dealers and access to government supply chains, they have been able to ensure that the local markets have not had foreign manufactured LED lights for last 2 years. But her biggest achievement is being able to introduce women from 18 to 75 years of age to skills they had never known before. Even if some of them are not entrepreneurs, they can now fix their home electronics themselves. At least they are self-reliant. So friends, the moves of Kamalpreet inspires us and gives us lesson. If you dream big, small dreams which are benefiting others, society gets fulfilled by their own. So dream big and make others also part of your destination. Then destination is destined to be reached. Meet you tomorrow with next Wow Woman. Till then, keep smiling, be happy. Bye-bye.